What is moral but illegal?
As an American doctor who takes Medicare, I am not allowed to waive fees for procedures or charge a patient less than what our officially set rates are, even if they don't have insurance. I'm also not allowed to ask a doctor from a different practice what a certain insurance company pays them for a service, as this has been deemed antitrust.
I'm also not allowed to ask a doctor from a different practice what a certain insurance company pays them for a service, as this has been deemed antitrust. WTF is the logic behind that greater than?
Grabbing thrown-out clothes from clothing stores, furniture, appliances, brand new stuff that just didn't sell or was out of season. Truly wasteful and probably terrible. My mom used to drive behind strip malls with me as a kid and we'd find all sorts of good stuff. Pier 1 Imports used to have some good stuff, so did Burlington Coat Factory.
Wow, I always thought the clothing would get damaged in some way to prevent this. I've seen videos of people just slashing t-shirts open before throwing them away. When I worked in a tea store that went bankrupt during COVID, we received instruction to throw everything away. Some stuff obviously was sent back, like mugs and loose-leaf tea, to be sold on the online store. My manager was awesome and let us take everything else. I have years' worth of napkins, disposable cloths, tea sachets, and even a brand new kettle. Best manager I ever had. She just didn't see the point in throwing away perfectly good things.
Sleeping in your car when you're too drunk to drive.
Also sleeping in your car when you have no home.
Paying for other people's parking meters.
My favorite story about my dad involves this. My mother and father were doing coin laundry, and naturally had a lot of coins on them. Dad was on the street waiting for a cycle when a parking inspector walked past. As the inspector got out his pad and began to write a ticket, Dad put a coin in the meter. So the inspector walked to the next car, and Dad put a coin in that meter too. They both started walking faster, the inspector trying to check the meter and Dad feeding coins into each slot. It goes on like this until they're both running down the street in frantic competition. But this was in Australia in the early 90s, late 80s.
Cafeteria workers at schools feeding children that don't have money. Edit. Oh geez, I totally realized by the comments this is not in fact illegal, in America. It could still get you fired depending on school policy and still a fed up moral situation to have to be in.
Grabbing thrown out food from a grocery shop's dumpster.
In my country they made that legal. So it doesn't go to waste. Edit. Yes, I live in Denmark.
In Japan, recycling someone's garbage without permission. Touching their garbage at all. You could use a discarded couch and save it from the garbage dump, but be arrested for it.
The neighborhood bin was in front of my house. One day, there was a nice kotatsu table in the gomi with a note left on it, but I couldn't read it. I asked my neighbor if I could take it. They got a little bit excited or agitated. I couldn't quite follow the whole situation with my limited Japanese. They called the neighbor whose number was on the note and they got permission for me to take it. Everyone was super happy because the note was for the garbage collector to know where to send the bill. I got a free table and they didn't have to pay to dispose of it. Sigh. I miss Japan.
Pirating abandonware.
I would happily pay for Pokemon Emerald as a digital version if it was a reasonable price so my son can play my childhood game.
In many countries, speaking out against the malicious and corrupt actions of the government would certainly fall under the category of moral but illegal.
Most recently Hong Kong, which claims to have global jurisdiction, link.
In Germany, putting your empty beer bottle next to the trash can in cities instead of into the trash can. It's in principle littering, but it makes it so bottle collectors don't have to crawl through the trash. There is a deposit on the bottles. Pirating content that has been abandoned and can't even be purchased anymore. E.g. an out-of-print book, or a game that isn't sold anymore.
Lots of old 60s performances are illegal to download but there's nowhere to buy it. Sad face. I feel like there's a ton of Jimi Hendrix footage but no way to legally hear it.
Whistleblowing. Supposedly legal. But you know the drill. In some states, feeding the homeless.
Donating unused insulin to those in need.
Medication in general. Once it's left the pharmacy it's no longer considered safe. Not even so much because of tampering, though people can be terrible and try to poison those they hate, but just storing things under the wrong conditions can render them useless to dangerous.
Defending against a bully in school, apparently.
In my state, KY, it is illegal to marry the same person 3 times. So I would say that would qualify as moral but illegal.
You can't see or buy a dildo in India for they look like phallus and they therefore are banned. Edit. Many have questioned on this thread what's moral surrounding the purchase of a dildo in India. It's simple. One could see a plenty of them advertised or displayed by various online stores. Across the world of e-commerce, customers could choose one, go and place an order at will. But at what cost? The products do reach the ports of entry without fail. But the customs sitting at the airport seize them, stop delivering them to customers quoting various laws. Why? The moral is, that which reaches up to one's doors at an address in India never gets to be opened and enjoyed. So near, yet so far. Thanks to weird laws.
LMFAO. Vibrators are sold as massages, and condoms are a taboo-ass topic, let alone hidden in stores and pharmacies. Ask for condoms and the moronic uncle behind the counter will look at you up and down as if you're asking for a blowjob.
Pirating Adobe products. It's always morally correct.
But-assisted suicide. So if you're in life-destroying unbearable pain and wish to be euthanized while surrounded by your loved ones, they'll be charged with your murder.
Sleeping in your car when you're homeless, or sleeping anywhere that's not a hotel or your own bed for that matter in the United States. Seriously, how did we get so bad to make homelessness illegal? Also, it's illegal to be a whistleblower in this country. Look what happened to Snowden.
Flashing your high beams to warn oncoming drivers they are approaching a speed trap.
Thank you for watching. We upload new videos every day, so be sure to come back for more fun. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video.